So that happened. The game I just introduced you to in the montage thingy was Fallout 76, the most, I want to say controversial, but that implies some people liked it, which they did, but not really a lot of people, so I'm just going to say bad. On this week's, I like doing these weekly, episode of Skermit, the Skermit show, I'll be covering what happened before, during, and after Fallout 76. Don't do another intro thing. Like, you just did like a whole, like this video started ages ago. Why? Don't do. Hey paisanos, how's it going? We totally didn't start a while ago. And anyway, the lead up to Fallout 76 was fun. It was pretty confusing. I remember people were excited for a new Fallout game, and then the rumours came in that it was an online multiplayer game, and a lot of people turned off, and then a few people still had hope, but the concept of an online Fallout game wasn't impossible. They just have to get creative. It's not like online RPGs based on well-respected franchises can't work. In fact, World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV are pretty good sometimes. Fallout 76 was confirmed to be an online game, and then the game came out. Yeah, Fallout 76 wasn't good. It was a buggy mess at launch. It got to the point where it was practically unplayable, and Bethesda told some fibs, if you will. Did I just say the word fibs in a video? Anyway, they said that they would never see a server. That was not true. You see a lot of servers. They also said you'll play the game completely on your own. This was partially true. You don't have to interact with people per se, but you might want to see some people because the game is pretty barren without them. Like, exploring the wasteland feels pretty empty. There isn't a ton of enemies like anywhere, and the ones that are there have a lot of issues. You see, a lot of open world games use something called level scaling. This is a technique in which the enemy in the games get harder as the player levels up. It's used in games such as Fallout 3. You also get better weapons in that game, so the enemies get more manageable later, but still, they're about your difficulty, so, you know, the challenge is still there. Like, for example, one point in the game, you have to get into a museum. There's a super mutants guarding it. This is pretty early in the game, but it's not like at the very start, so it's more a tutorial than an early game challenge. In this area, the player has to be smart. At this point, they probably don't have the equipment to fight a group of super mutants. In fact, they most likely haven't fought a super mutant on their own yet. The game shows you one by having a super mutant come out to practice on you, and then you kind of just take it out, mostly with relative ease, and then you can sneak past them, or whatever. You could sneak past the group of super mutants, but you could also blow them up, which is pretty kind of cool. But let's say you don't have enough ammo to blow them up. You could sneak past them, and then after the whole, and then in the late game of you come back with the Brotherhood of Steel, breaking into the museum again. You can get Liberty Prime there, if you can get Liberty Prime out of glitching out on some computer cars. You have power armor, better guns, and a companion, and the super mutants are fighting the Enclave, so it's not as big a deal anymore, which makes the player feel stronger, which, though level scaling is flawed, it does give the player, you know, a meaningful level of progression without actually progressing anything. So imagine if they did this, but if the enemies didn't pose a threat at all. Did I just say pros and not even notice? And were just dirt easy from the beginning and got a little harder later in the game. That's Fallout 76. Super mutants, who I previously talked about, don't pose a threat at all. fact, they're not much more of a threat than the robots that you see at the very beginning of the game, as they go down in just a few more hits. The game also tries to implement the VAT system, and does it fine. You can't do the slow down time thing, which is half the reason it's good, giving you time to plan out tactics, but seeing as the game is always online, you can't really do that slow down time thing. It doesn't really work. It's almost like the game shouldn't have been online. The game destroys the sense of choice. I usually don't like the argument of blank is a good game, but not a good blank game, because these arguments usually don't have much sense, as the games have the core ideas of the series, but just innovate or change in a few areas. But the Fallout series is made on the fundamentals of choice. For example, in Fallout New Vegas, there's a quest you can do for a character called Manny, in which they want you to get some ghouls out of somewhere, and it'll tell you the directions of where you need to go for the main quest. Never mind the fact that the quest you ask you to do is one of the best in any game ever, and is a genius piece of design, giving you so much choice to accomplish it, and you're doing yourself a favour by doing it. It's also incredibly well written, making you sympathise with characters that would have just been a simple fight, different choice. Never mind the fact you can do this quest as a complete pacifist. You don't actually have to do this quest at all. You could just convince Manny to tell you if you have the right perk, you could hack his terminal in his room, you could pickpocket him, or you could just kill him and take it off his body. I should really do a video about Fallout New Vegas. Anyway, Fallout 76 never reaches this level of complexity. In fact, most quests are just boring, busy work. Fallout 4 took away a lot of the choice from New Vegas, and it simplified the dialogue tree system quite a bit, which is many people's main criticism of Fallout 4. I still like Fallout 4 for a lot of reasons, but I will admit it would be nice to have more layers to the conversation. Fallout 76 doesn't know the meaning of the word complex. There was one point at the very beginning of the game which a character gave me a quest in exchange for information, and then the main quest, and after that she just gave me the information, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll decline her thing, and then I'll just pickpocket her, because that'll be fun. And then it didn't let me do that, and I was like, why don't I just like kill her? And then it didn't let me do that. I just had to do this quest. I had no other choice in this matter. This was a series made on the concept of choice. Wouldn't it just be easier to make it a single player game and give me choice? I want choice. This game also has really mediocre art direction. Not only is there the fact that this game honestly looks worse than Fallout 4, which came out 3 years before, but this game doesn't really have like a style to it, which was kind of just Fallout 4 again, but in the forest, and everyone looks like a melted cheese stick. There just wasn't really a lot to it. So I just proved that Fallout 76 is flawed, with or without the bugs. But what happened after that? Play the title card. Why am I pretending that's how this? That was the worst thing I've made in my entire life. Bethesda messed up pre-orders, telling their signature sweet little lies twice, and had the most awkward digital store on the planet. I mean, look at these. Look at that. Look at all. Oh, she doesn't look too happy. Neither does he. You can probably tell, but E3 that year was a lot of fun. Bethesda's E3 2019 was a complete disaster. The audience would clap at literally anything, leading people to think that half of them were just Bethesda employees, told to get excited about literally anything. The only thing that looked at all interesting to people was Deathloop, Doom Eternal. They didn't show off Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6. 2 games that might have saved the show. Ghostwire. It looks good, but just kinda confusing. Also, they could have shown off the Commander Keen game, which would be kind of fun. I've been one of those for a while. And then they said it's a phone game. Yay! They showed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 We Are Bethesda videos. Very obviously trying to get people onto their side after they made probably one of the most hated RPGs in the past 10 years. To put it simply, it was a mess. And then there was one little cherry on this ice cream sundae of badness. I need to rewrite this script.
Yeah, we put a battle royale in Fallout 76.
No. This was it really. A once unique and interesting series, and ended with one foul swoop. Many players. It's not the fact that the mode is bad. In fact, I hear a lot of people really enjoyed Nuclear Winter. The issue is no one was talking about it, really. No one really cared. People just weren't excited about Fallout anymore. Fans wanted fun quests, interesting characters and good writing. And for them, they weren't going to find it in Vault 76.